Be as it may, the doctrine of consequential spiritual consciousness, a framework for serving one state of development through awareness in action, by Reverend Walimu Kevin Patrick. This doctrine is not bound by denomination, tradition, or creed. It is a living philosophy grounded in consciousness and consequence. It recognizes that belief, while personal, is also purposeful. It serves to elevate both the individual and the collective toward a greater understanding, tolerance, temperance / temperament, confidence, and respect. My faith is not confined to one religion, for I'm well rounded off in the essence of the dominant religion or religious faiths, in the wisdom each holds, not to devalue any other religious faith by calling one more dominant than the other. Yet my allegiance is not to state. My allegiance is to the state of my development, which I serve through a process of spiritual consciousness. See, for me, Christ is a state of development through the process of spiritual consciousness. I am guided by the principles that every thought, word, and actions bears consequence, good or bad. And that awareness of these consequences refines the soul toward maturity. 1. Excuse me. Transformation, the awakening of awareness. Transformation begins with the awakening of the inner self. It is the realization that life's conditions are not fixed, but fluid, and that growth demands inner connection. To transform is to turn inward, to observe one's thoughts, motives, and behaviors without judgment, and to bring them into alignment with truth. For me, truth is the cause that impacts and affects the results of one's reality. Through this purification, one begins to live by higher principles such as love. And for me, love is the manner way in which we communicate as a family, our humanity. Justice, which is merely a theory. And compassion. When you have compassion, you have to go through 4 other phases, if I may use that language. 1, you must release negativity. 2, you must accept the unacceptable. 3, you must learn the lesson. 4, you must move forward. And then you become more kinder to yourself as well as to others. Self-compassion. Something that we should have been taught, or if it was taught to us in elementary school. Transformation marks the first step toward spiritual consciousness. It is the moment when awareness becomes responsibility. 2, transition. This passes through development. Transition represents the stage of consciousness evolution, the movement from one level of awareness to another. It is a bridge between the known and the unknown, between self-interest and service. For me, the bridge to the levels or to maturity of the maturation process, when it comes to understanding tolerance, temperance / temperament, and confidence and respect, the bridge builders or the connectors is the temperance, which connects to the tolerance and understanding, and the temperament connects to the confidence and respect. But this bridge between self-interest and service In this stage, we let go of the egoic or ego, this desire to want to dominate others. Attachment, because the source of all conflict is attachment. In the illusion of control. Transition teaches endurance, humility, and faith. It reminds us that every ending carries within it a beginning, and that progress requires the willingness to change form while keeping one's essence intact. Transcendence, that's 3, rising beyond limitations. Transcendence is the liberation of the soul from the boundaries of identity, fear, and separation. It is the realization that all life is interconnected and sacred. In transcendence, one learns to rise through rather than escape from experience. It's very important. Challenges become teachers. Opposites becomes harmonized. If you ever notice, if you have a 0 in the middle, from a math point of view, you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one side and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the other side. They are opposite of each other, but they are not in opposition of each other. Yes. Virtues such as patience, gratitude. In order to have gratitude, is required for us to have patience, and also puts us at an advantage when it comes to our level of competence. Yes. Gratitude, empathy, and humility replace judgment and pride. Here, awareness becomes wisdom, and wisdom becomes compassion. Number 4, transference. Serving through the process of becoming. This is what I do. This is who I am. To transfer is to give what has been gained through awareness. To turn personal evolution into collective elevation. In this movement, one serves their state of development not only for self-refinement, but for the betterment of others. Service becomes the act of sharing light, mentoring, teaching, uplifting, or simply being present as a mirror of truth. Our presence here on this plane of existence is very unique. It will never come again. So we should respect each other's presence. This is where the individual becomes a conduit for universal guidance, no longer merely seeking wisdom, but embodying it. 5, transmission. Transmission is the culmination of all that has transpired. It is the point at which what was developed within begins to manifest without. At this stage, one's presence alone becomes a message. Every word, every gesture, and silence carries the vibration of consciousness, cultivated through service and self-awareness. Transmission is not performance, it is being. It is the art of living truth naturally, radiating peace, balance, and compassion wherever one stands. The individual becomes both servant and signal, both vessel and voice for the divine intelligence that flows through all creation. In conclusion, what has transpired and what is transpiring? The journey from transformation to transmission is not linear, but cyclical. It is a cycle. A circle. A degree of coming back to ourselves, our place of beginning. Becoming anew. You think about that word I just used. You think about that. What has transpired has become the foundation for what is transpiring. Each stage feeds the next, just as consequence follows cause. To live by a consequential spiritual consciousness is to honor both the visible and invisible laws of growth. This is what we are to honor. It is to live responsibly, aware that every act is part of a greater unfolding. The manifestation of life. Living. You look, you learn, and you listen. And serving one's own state of development through spiritual consciousness, one becomes an instrument for universal harmony, a transmitter of understanding, tolerance, temperament, confidence, and respect. The very essence of common humanity mission. Give to the gift of social literacy. Common Humanity Mission. So 50c3 nonprofit organization. The mission is to promote the value of self-worth. The mandate is to cultivate the potential of knowledge that is in us all. The motto is to communicate through 5.5 channels: understanding, tolerance, temperance/temperament, confidence,